because we got to see what you going on in the room.
yeah. Like okay, like let's get ratchet, right? Let's enjoy it, and and as we do it, like let's not try to be all high and mighty, because and as we think about the Diddy shit, and as we think about who's the predator and who's the victim, I think there's a place of like putting yourself in that, and so many of us, like, you know what we're coming from. And if you're invited somewhere and they say, we could put your whole family on, we could put you on. Like, okay, this is your brother who's been your manager. Okay, we know your brother ain't a manager, but you know, he's got a record, like that shit, right? He's got a record, he ain't getting no job. You can call him, your brother's gonna be your manager. And he's gonna get this. And you're gonna, like, and you step into it and you make compromise and compromise and compromise. And then you look up and you don't see yourself.
Well, some people can look at it as, I ain't gonna lie, because you did say that, as a sellout. So you think those people that are engaging in those behaviors are sellouts? What's going on? Honestly.
Yeah.
At least you honest.
Yeah, and I believe that they're selling themselves out as much. Like, and I think in my work, the next place that I'm going really is cancel culture, right? Because I think that we need to look at, and Usher's the one I've been thinking about in the last couple of days, right?
Wow.
Because his mother sold his ass out. I don't know what happened with her, but she put her child in the closet of evil. And he grew up and found safety in that evil, right? And so how do we care for him while holding him accountable and hopefully creating the conditions where this doesn't happen anymore? And knowing that for us, there's a special place in society where the systems and powers that be are not going to help us care for us in those spaces.
Okay, what inspires your work ethic?
All those that came before me. For real, that sounds so fucking great and wonderful, but we'll walk through the heritage garden. If you haven't seen my TED Talk clearly says, you know, who I am, and I think everyone needs to figure out who they are based on that which came before them, right? Whether it was wonderful and great, whether it was horrible, like within whatever that is, that's you.
And what you became from, what you come from, can't dictate your future. Let's understand that.
No.
What you came from cannot. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm giving y'all game. What y'all came from cannot dictate your future. You can dictate your own future, depending on if you put in the work. And I really
Seeing
want y'all to
it,
understand.
learning it, embracing it, in no way has to dictate where you go. Yeah, thank you. Hold that and hold that. You know, we're here. I'm not going to be completely forthcoming and honest, because some of this is other people's business, right? But there's a human being who I love deeply with my whole soul. And he is the product of a rape. And he knows this. And that's an important thing for him to know about him as he navigates and figures out who the man inside of him is, right? And this is a loving, beautiful, wonderful man who, just like every last one of us, has
Sorry to hear
temper
that.
stuff. Yeah, right? And for us like that, where you come from doesn't have to. So many of us who have those in our backgrounds try to hide. And you should not be on Front Street running with that shit, right? Like, there's no way you meet someone and be like, hi, my mom was a hoe, did it like that. That is in no way a way to step. But in you, knowing that and figuring out how it dwells in you and what it makes, that allows you to reach your higher power and be the most beautiful. Like, that takes you there. No one else, like, truthfully, please hear, no one else who you know in your sphere needs to know any of those words. You don't need to share any of that out. But, get through it. And
Do you have anything you like to promote? Anything that you got old for people that don't know you? Any social medias that they need to tap into? Any new journeys that you are accomplishing, if you want to speak into existence and give them an insight, things of that nature?
okay, so right now we're sitting at the Sterling Street Sanctuary and Nature Reserve.
I ain't gonna lie, you gotta say that even better than that, because there was no energy in that, Kamora. Where are we at?
Okay, so we are at the Sterling Street Sanctuary and Nature Reserve, which is the learning lab for cultural humility created by Kamora's Cultural Corner, all that, right? And in front of us over there is Wakanda. And in Wakanda is the Heritage Garden, where we grow kale collards and collard greens.
Talk about it.
Cows and callaloo. So again, talking about us, and as I was talking about buggery and Jamaica and stuff, right? And so talking about gay shit in schools, gotta go back. Dude, we'll get there, right? Got to. But if we're working in the schools, right, and we're saying that the Jamaicans are super, super homophobic, right? But we're using American standards and we're not understanding where they're coming from, we're not creating spaces where people can grow, where people can learn, where people can bring different identities and stuff into the space. So Wakanda over there with the Heritage Garden is created for all of us different melanated people from wherever the boats dropped us off, because they picked us up, they dictated our lives, we created our cultures, we created them in what they threw us into, right? So it's called Wakanda because Black Panther's fucking awesome. And if us as melanated people could get over our boat stop issues, right? If we could stop believing that Jamaicans will do anything for a dime, if they could stop believing that we are the laziest people, and if everyone else in the world could just, like, if we could just get over that shit, right? Amazingness. Check out the cars that are coming out of Nigeria, right? Amazing things could happen if Black folks throughout the entire diaspora could learn to love each other and get over our mistrust that was created by the colonizer. Over there,
talk about it.
Over there is a labyrinth that was built by the Oba, by the king of Oyetunji Village. Oyetunji Village is a Yoruba village in South Carolina. Please learn about Oyetunji Village. Our work here is based in Afrocentricity, and having them come up and build it was incredibly important because it was built in an Afrocentric model.
Talk about it.
And there's a bunch of great stuff there, but that is built. So what should people do? You need to get here and use this space. If you're in Hartford, 75 Sterling Street, you need to meet the labyrinth. You need to learn how the labyrinth is supposed to be used. Whether you use it specifically like that or not, get in here and find what's yours here, right? And step into community with other people who you may not agree with, who you may not share values with, but we're all here together. We gotta figure this out. So my birthday is October 9th.
Shout out to your birthday coming up.
Yep.
And I got her on the podcast before her birthday.
Yep. So on my birthday that afternoon, probably like 3 o'clock, but I'm gonna have a labyrinth experience here, right?
I have a thank you.
You have to.
I'm coming.
Bring your camera, do the whole thing, because that's me. Like, really, I've been working. This has been blood, sweat, and tears in many ways for a lot. And this is my life's work, right? So this is in many ways this, right? But this truly is my gift to Hartford, right? So now we own it. I don't own it. The trust, the way we did it, configuring, trust for public land, bought it, trust, public trust. Currently in ownership with Knox as I develop this.
Oh, no, it's crazy you're into ownership with Knox. Now, that's crazy. Now, I'm going to take it back real fast. If you're in ownership with Knox, you know him, Kareem Moody.
Yes.
Kareem Moody's my old boss. I used to be an outreach liaison for her on right there at the barbershop she used to have the MDC signs before they turned into the barbershop.
Where's that one?
Right here off of Albany Ave. And me and Rayvon, her nephew used to be doing the paperwork. Now you have to say, now you got to tell Kareem Moody that I done bossed up and I'm doing the same work that she's doing. But it's crazy.
And you're doing it the way you're supposed to be doing it.
Shout out to
That's what it is.
Shout out to Kareem Moody, her husband.
Yes.
Shout out to Kamora,
teaching you how to do it.
Kamora, because now all the dots are connecting.
See? And that's what this is supposed to be. And this is how this works. So on my birthday, I get to explain all the ownership shit. And hopefully, like, the selfish part is I need people on the board who don't know how to be bored, right? But I need people on the board who know how to center community and center, not community, right? Center Black community.
Right.
And there's a lot that we'll talk about off camera about this, right? But as we're making this beautiful, we need to understand that we could be adding to gentrification. So last week we had the governor and all kinds of folks here. I happily spoke to some folks from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, about specific projects to make sure that us being here in beautiful doesn't mean that the landlord across the street says, oh, our rent's gonna be this. And all of a sudden we and the people who I built this for can't be here because that dumb shit, right?
Talk about
so we're doing all of our, so on the 9th, come, let me tell y'all how I made this for you. Let me walk your soul and spirit through that labyrinth so that you can feel it and figure out how you own it and how you use it and how you make sure this is ours.
I ain't gonna lie, she just said it. I just got the chills and in a good way, and she's not lying. It's a great experience, and she done put a lot of work in. She's a very powerful lady in Hartford, and appreciate her coming on to the podcast and just taking a moment of her time. And we still got more questions, but I just had to say that because, Kamora's a really powerful lady, and through the people that she kind of was, building with, it's like they brought me to her. And it was probably a powerful reason I was brought to Kamora. So shout out to those that, knew Kamora before me.
That's the important thing. But so in that place, so how does this work? We also are thinking and doing days, like there's a few different things we do. But the Lit Festival happened this weekend, right?
Wow.
So that was in Zima, with T'Challa, that was like all the Hartford authors and everything, big festival. And then last night it ended here, so they had a party here at the end. And so every Friday, if you belong to the KCC, like if you buy a membership, then every Friday morning we have a community conversation on Zoom for absolutely everyone. And so the Imperial Sovereign Court of All Connecticut was having their ball on Saturday night. So T'Challa was in the conversation on Friday morning, and Boo, who's the head of the ISC, was in there, right? And so because Boo knew that this party was happening here, all of the amazing, wonderful food that they had left over from Saturday night, he brought it over here and was here. And that is it. And then so right, so this big old large statewide philanthropic gay organization that serves gay folks served this amazing, wonderful literary black organization that was having this wonderful celebration.
Talk about it.
Because of this collaboration that again says we are not like, this isn't a whole place for people who agree with each other to get together and go like, oh, we're right, look at us, we agree, we're right. But it's a place to really bring together different human beings from very different backgrounds and ways of being. And like, how do we do this together? How do we share space together and utilize what we actually have to ascend and move forward?
Very true.